and I think we're going to see a good fight.
We saw a really good attendance from the Glasgow public yesterday. That's not surprising. What do you think it means to Josh Taylor to come home with all the belts? He won his world title here, yes, but he's been on the road since. Prograis in London, Ramirez in Las Vegas with a skeleton crowd there in the midst of the pandemic. He had the one fight behind closed doors at York Hall as well. How do you think he will have fed off that crowd yesterday? It was standing room only at the St Enoch Centre.
Oh, I'd say it was. He was probably thinking, this is how it's meant to be. You know,
this is what I've missed.
This is what I've missed. I mean, he's had quite a journey the last sort of couple of years. You know, obviously the bubble in Las Vegas. He had that fight with Ramirez, which under normal circumstances, imagine if that fight had been here, you know, undisputed. That would have like.
Imagine if his fans could have travelled over to Las Vegas. I think that's what really hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, like I was thinking first, I just thought then, imagine if that was here in this arena, the roof would have come off. But even if it was in Vegas, they would have travelled for that. That was like a super fight, undisputed. He's the only Scottish fighter since the great Ken Buchanan. I think he's the only UK fighter in the four-belt era, as far as correct me if I'm
first
wrong.
time between two Brits that all four belts from the major sanctioning bodies will be on the line.
So this is a huge fight, and he's probably thinking, you know, this is what it's all about. This is what I've missed, having the media work. Even today with the press conference, there'll be a good turnout. You can see everyone's here for him, and he's probably thinking, this is where my, you know, I've done the work in the ring. I've become the fighter that I always knew I could be, but now it's time for my sort of profile and my star quality to catch up.
What do you think we will see today? My final question to you before we hand over to the Undercard press conference. What do you think we'll see today from both fighters? Hank time is something that Josh Taylor talks about, this almost alter ego that comes over him on fight week. And how do you think Catterall will respond?
I think Josh Taylor will try and get into Catterall's head a little bit. You know, he's been at this stage a while now. You know, he's been world champion he's getting used to it. Catterall, it's a big step up from where he's been fighting recently. The level of opposition, it's a big step up. Yeah, he has earned it. He is mandatory. He's undefeated. But this is another level. So I think Josh Taylor will be just trying to subtly remind him of that. Or maybe not so subtly. He'll be telling you coming up now. Yeah, I think he'll be trying to put there's many ways you can intimidate someone. Just getting in someone's face is one way. You can plant little seeds, put little doubts in their mind. And I think he might try a little bit of that.
Well, that's all still to come later. But first off, let's go over to our first Undercard press conference, MC Paddy Johnson.
On behalf of Boxer and Top Rank, welcome everybody to the Scottish Event Campus here in Glasgow for the official press conference, Taylor versus Catterall. Live on Sky Sports, YouTube, Facebook channels, and ESPN Plus in partnership with OVO Hydro, Arnold Clark, Everlast, Village Hotels, and Bet365. It is time now to meet some of your supporting fighters in your undercard for Saturday's event. First, Paddy Donovan, John Dougherty, Jordan Grant, and two-time EU gold medalist on stage, Kurt Walker. Now, please welcome your host, head of boxing development for Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Thanks very much, Paddy. Who's excited? Because I certainly am. A very warm welcome along. It's terrific to be back north of the border for us, back to Scotland. What a wonderful place and great memories of boxing through the years here, from Gary Jacobs, Scott Harrison, Ricky Burns, of course, Alex Arthur, many, many great nights. And it's time for Josh Taylor's homecoming. And what a packed event we have. It's a huge Saturday night live on Sky Sports, ESPN Plus around the world. Top Rank and Boxer working with us. And it's fantastic to have an array of talent here on stage. I don't know who to start with because there's some really, really good fighters here. I'll go to the far end. Paddy Donovan, he's unbeaten in 7. He's got the looks, he's got the charisma, and he can fight. Paddy, welcome to the stage. How excited are you about showcasing your talent on such a big night?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's a big platform for me, so I'm going to perform well. I've trained well, had a great training camp. I can't complain, so I'm ready to fight. I'm very excited to be here in Scotland. The fans is unbelievable, and I just can't wait there now to get in there and put on a masterpiece of a performance and showcase my skill to the world.
Bob Arum talks very highly of you, undefeated in 7, 5 knockouts, with Andy Lee, of course, as well. So for those who haven't seen you yet, What are we expecting on Saturday, and how quickly will your career move forward?
They're going to expect a world-class performance. I believe I'm one of the best prospects in the world of boxing right now coming through. And I want to be the best fighter in Ireland, one of the best fighters in the history of Ireland. And it's going to start come Saturday night. When I get in that ring, I don't believe any fighter in the world will beat me. I'll be ready for any challenge that comes in front of me.
And finally, you're in with the pretty durable Miroslav Serban from the Czech Republic. Do you think he'll have seen anything quite like you?
Not really. Definitely. When he gets in this ring, he'll know what I'm about. He's up against a world-class fighter, a guy that is very ambitious, full of skill, and ready to showcase my skill to the world. And I believe that he's going to come and give me a good challenge, but I'm going to overcome any obstacle that comes my way.
And you believe you're going all the way in this sport?
I'm going all the way right at the top, baby.
Excellent, lovely Paddy. I tell you, it's full of Irish talent as well on this Scottish show. Let's go down to the other end. Lisbon's Kurt Walker making his professional debut. I know you've waited for this. Commonwealth Games silver medalist. Not European champion once, but twice, as you've reminded me. So you got the pedigree, you got the top rank backing. You good to go?
Yeah, but listen, I'm buzzing to be on this show. I've been in camp for 3 months, training along with Michael Collins. So I've been putting in the camp that he's been putting in for his world title. And what a show to be on. I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah, it's fantastic working alongside Mick. He's in good form, obviously. His big fight in a few weeks' time, but he gets to see you first.
Yeah, definitely. You know, he's in great form, and being around winners makes you a winner. So that's what I'm looking to do.
And for those who haven't seen you in the amateurs, what are you going to bring to the professional game?
A lot of speed, making people miss a lot, hopefully, and adaptability. I can change it when I want to change it. I can do things when I want to do them. So that's my main goal. And yeah.
And could you have had a bigger and better stage to make your debut on with the top-ranked team here, with the cameras on you around the world? It's pretty special, isn't it?
No, special. Great backing from Top Rank. What a show. You know, a good domestic fight. A good fight. England versus Scotland. Yeah, I'm delighted with everything, and I'm looking forward to putting on a performance.
The Irish talent, including Kieran Malloy as well, who'll make his professional debut from Galway. He's pretty spectacular as well. He's just delayed, but he'll be here for the weigh-in and Saturday night. Now, here in Scotland, we have plenty of Scottish talent. Let's start with Mark McKeown from Coatbridge. Coatbridge, of course, Ricky Burns' home place. You've had 5, haven't you? And what a chance for you to perform on such a huge stage with thousands and thousands of your local fans to cheer you on.
Oh, definitely. As you say, it's great to have a fight up in Glasgow. I don't need to tell anybody what the atmosphere's like up here. It's going to be absolutely electric, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity, and I'm going to grab it with both hands and showcase my talent.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Obviously, Josh Taylor's ready to come here, but I mentioned some of those big names that came before him. It's an incredible place for boxing and the history in Scotland. Who did you look up to, and who do you want to emulate, or are you doing your own thing?
Oh, definitely. Just like in my start of my career, I used to always just go to Ricky Burns' fights right through his career, and now me and Ricky's training together, so it's absolutely brilliant to be on the shows that I remember watching as a young kid.
One of the nicest guys in the sport, Ricky Burns, three-weight champion. We hope he's here on Saturday night.
Definitely, he'll be here cheering us on.
Mark, we wish you well. We've also got a little local rivalry as well to kick off our live broadcast on Saturday night. And I want to thank both of these guys because they fought last week. They've kept themselves in terrific shape, and this is what British boxing needs. Fighters that are willing to take each other on at short notice, and these two, fantastic. John Dougherty to my right, Jordan Grant. We'll start with you, Jordan from Hamilton. John from Montrose. You've never sparred together, but it's a little local rivalry, isn't it?
No, we've never sparred before, but listen, it's still local enough for a rivalry, so no, I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
I know you've just thought, what an opportunity that came out and at short notice, but you're fit and always in shape, aren't you?
No, still keeping in shape and stuff, so no, when I got the opportunity, I thought I need to take this, definitely.
And what is the plan for this year, for 2022? Keep busy, obviously been a difficult time for everybody, every fighter during the pandemic. Just keep busy and seeing how far you can go in the sport?
Aye, well, got to keep busy, and then hopefully I want the Scottish title this year, so that's the plan.
And how highly do you rate John?
Oh, listen, I know John's a good talent, but I'm coming to fight, so no, I'm looking forward to it.
He's coming to fight. That's what we want, John Dougherty, isn't it?
Definitely. I watched him box last Friday, and it comes for the fight, you know what I mean? And, you know, I don't shy off a fight either, so he's in for a treat, and you don't want to blink on Saturday night.
It's a perfect start, isn't it, to the live broadcast, to have two Scots round the corner. Fans will get going straight away, which is important.
Definitely. Me and him won't be holding back. Obviously, we're live on Sky, so we want to put on a performance, and I've got a fang boxer, and Sam and Sky for putting me on again on this good show. And I was on Josh Taylor's last card in Scotland, and it was a very good experience as well. So I'm looking forward to Saturday night and putting on a show for all the Scotland fans.
We've seen plenty of you, obviously, on our Sky screens. Highly touted prospect. You did have that one defeat to Jack Cullen. Have you rebuilt from that? Have you learned? Do you feel now that you're in a better place going forward with experience-wise?
Definitely, obviously, experience-wise, and I learnt a lot on that fight. That's why I changed trainer, and I'm more experienced now, and I'm ready to show everyone what I've been working on Saturday night. So yeah, just make sure you tune on Saturday night, and you're not going to miss, because I'm coming for a big performance.
Is it a chance to make a statement, because you believe, obviously, that you should probably still be undefeated, that you should win titles, that you've got that class?
Definitely. I never had in my head I was going to lose that early in my career. But as I said, I've learned a lot from that lesson, and I'm coming on Saturday night to... Obviously, I'm live on Sky, so I've got to impress, and I won't be holding back, as you all know. And, yeah, just don't blink.
Going for the stoppage?
I always say I'm going to go for the stoppage, and... But I will be, if it comes there, it comes, you know what I mean? But I'll be going at the box. Josh, he's a very tough lad, so it's going to be a good fight for the first few rounds, but I do reckon I will stop him at the end.
Jordan, fireworks?
Oh, definitely fireworks. Oh, yeah. No, listen, I'm coming to fight. I know what I need to do, so listen, tune in this Saturday and you'll see what's happening.
Let's bring it on. Great stuff. John Dougherty and Jordan Grant to kick off our live broadcast. Plenty of stellar talent on the card as well. We have another press conference coming up shortly, but for now, we'll get the boys to do a couple of face-offs down there. You two, I think, head-to-head. We'll get that, and then we'll get a group shot of you all as well. So thanks for now, and enjoy this array of talent from Ireland and from Scotland.
Rest in peace.
So Matt, this is a relatively late addition to the card, but one we're all of a sudden looking forward to. They're both talking the talk. John Dougherty, someone we know very, very well. Jordan Grant, we know from primarily he's lost to Tommy Fury, but yeah, they're talking all the right talk. Fireworks were promised now.
Yeah, and all Scottish affair. We see it, don't we, at the British title level, English title level, even area title level. So, you know, an all Scottish fair here, we're going to see a lot of pride on the line. And, you know, John Dougherty's someone that was getting rave reviews, really. Had that loss to Jack Cullen, and then all of a sudden forgotten about it. And that's the ruthlessness of the business of boxing. You're as good how you're as bad as your last fight, you know. And I'm sure he's learned a lot from that. And I think he was blowing guys away easy, blasting them out. And, you know, Cullen obviously stood up to him, giving him back. And I think he was just out of it. He had really the experience over the longer rounds to pace himself and to kind of readjust and make the adjustments he needed. But I think he will have learned. I think if he gets a few hairy moments in this fight, I think he'll be a lot more well prepared for it.
Yeah, you're not defined by your losses. Some nice pictures on stage here, and the style up there that a lot of people will know straight away is Paddy Donovan. Bob Arum from Top Rank described him as the best looking boxer since Muhammad Ali, so there's absolutely no pressure, you know, there's no big...
What about me?
He just must have forgot you at that point. I don't know why that happened, but he's trained by Andy Lee. He's coming along nicely. 7 fights and undefeated, 5 knockouts in there. He can punch a bit. What do you want to see from him on Saturday night? This will be the first time I've had a chance to see him in the flesh.
Yeah, and the same here. I've seen lots of his fights, heard a lot about him as an amateur as well. So I had high expectations when I seen him. The clips I've seen of him, I was still impressed. So I can't wait to see him now live, up close. Because you just get that bit more feel for the speed and the power, don't you? But just to see him to continue doing what he's doing, he's impressive, he's learning, he's improving. Andy Lee great trainer. I think he's, you know, going to go really far with him. And just looking for a statement, really. See an impressive performance. And I think we'll see when he seems like the type of kid that wants to make statement after statement. You can tell that he's ambitious, he's hungry, and he believes in himself. You can see that.
One quick word on Kieran Malloy and Kurt Walker, who we saw on stage as well.
Yeah, Kieran Malloy, good fighter. I know him well from Galway. Good southpaw. I think he's a right-handed southpaw. I don't know that for a fact. But I was watching him on the pads, and the jab looked strong, the right hooks looked particularly strong, more so than the backhand. So wouldn't shock me if he was in that Andy Lee, Winky Wright mould of right-handed southpaws. Again, I think it's he's only just turned over. Very ambitious, wants to go far. I'm sure he'll want to put on a show. Kurt Walker as well. You know, the Olympian. He had a massive performance in the Olympics. Beat the reigning world champion from Uzbekistan, and then lost to Duke Reagan, the American, who went on to win the silver. So, you know, very talented boxer, great amateur pedigree, and looking forward to see all of their journeys.
Yeah, so you can see behind us, people are slowly making their way onto the stage at the moment. So we'll just sort of give them a chance to all get set. Which fight on this undercard is standing out the most to you? I mean, Robeisy Ramirez is just one of the most amazing amateurs. It's going to be a delight to see him here in Glasgow against Eric Donovan. But you've also got the big boys. First time since 1951, the Scottish area title is up for grabs.
Yeah, look, a Scottish heavyweight title fight, we just mentioned it before, didn't we? When you get area title fights, English title fights, but domestic fights, always you get good action in those fights, a lot of pride on the line, the crowd get into it. But I think in terms of high-tech boxing skill and class, you can't look past Ramirez and Donovan, Eric Donovan. That's, Donovan probably the wrong side of 30, Ramirez the fresher of the two. But it should be a good fight.
Not all amateurs make great pros. He had that shocking defeat on his pro debut with all the hype, and it went wrong. He has avenged that. You think that is going to be a battle between two technicians. Eric Donovan, we know really well from the fight with Zelfa Barrett, where he performed brilliantly until we got stopped.
Well, this could be a fight that the casuals don't really take to, but the purists love, because you've got two counter punchers there, two high-skilled southpaw boxers, so it could be, a game of chess, a cat and mouse, one trying to make a mistake that would pay. It might not be. I'd be surprised if it becomes a war of attrition. That isn't really the style of either go. So I think this would be more of a chess match.
Okay, well, let's hear from all of the protagonists. They're on stage, and Paddy Johnson's going to take it away for us.
It's time now to meet more of your supporting fighters for this Saturday night right here in Glasgow. Top rank and boxer. First, in the cruiserweight division, Scott Forrest. Your super bantamweight division contest between Ebony Jones and Effie Catapuli. In the featherweight division, the two-time Olympic gold medalist Robeisy Ramirez takes on the five-time Irish champion and EU and European Championship bronze medalist Eric White Lightning Donovan. And for the vacant Scottish Area Heavyweight Championship, the first time it's been contested in 71 years, Nick Campbell takes on Jay McFarlane. And now, back to your host, head of boxing development for Sky Sports, Adam Smith.
Thanks, Paddy. Part two, and some more terrific fighters and fights up here supporting the main event of Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, which we hope will be a fight for the ages. Let's kick this straight off. Let's go down to the far end. A fighter who had an outstanding amateur career, one of Scotland's finest, and he gets the chance to turn over on a night like this. Scott Forrest, sum it up. Sum your feelings up going into Saturday.
I'm absolutely buzzing for this now. Pro time's finally here. I've been waiting for this opportunity for quite a while now, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Your amateur career, excellent. What do you think you'll bring to the professional game? And it's obviously a weight class which is really buzzing at the moment too.
Well, with my experience, I was with the Team GB for 5 years, travelled the world, fought the best in the world, and it's something you can't buy. And now I'm ready to transition to the pro, which I know is a completely different game, but I'm ready for it.
And for those who haven't seen you yet, obviously many have followed your amateur career, but what do you think you'll bring the professional game? Obviously it's a heavy division, it's an exciting division. What can you add to that, skill-wise and power-wise?
Well, I think watching the cruiserweight division right now, I think I'm going to be one of the ones that is there to take it over. But I don't really rate a lot of them. I feel like I'm going to outbox, just dominate the weight.
And what do we expect? First up, Eric Nazarin on Saturday. What do we expect from you to show us in the ring on your pro debut? Because there'll be a few nerves, obviously.
Well, I'm here. I'm going to make a statement, show what I'm here, what I've got, and my ability, with what my experience can do.
I mean, I had the guys up earlier, the Irish guys, saying they're going all the way. Do you fancy that as well, that you think you've got the amateur experience to go up to world title level?
100%. I'm aiming for nothing less than that. I want to take it all.
Fantastic, Scott. We wish you well. Good luck on Saturday night. Sitting next to Scott is a young lady who we saw make a professional debut, and some professional debut at the end of last year. She's been waiting patiently for her chance to go again. She's literally been calling us, texting us, and now's her chance. Ebony Jones, really exciting. We'll meet Effie Catapuli down at the other end of the dais. Effie based here, obviously, in Scotland. Let's start with you. Fantastic time for women's boxing. It's just going from strength to strength. We saw Clarissa Shields a couple of weeks ago in Cardiff. Michaela Meyer was over from Top Rank as well, commentating. It's a wonderful time, isn't it, for ladies, for the boxing at the moment?
That's true, and it looks like women's boxing is getting high and getting better and better, and it's becoming more popular and start to make a statement. There are great women boxing and they prove it all the time.
And you've been very good amateur and pro. What are you expecting on Saturday with Ebony?
I came here for a win. I think she's a good boxer. She has great potential. But at the moment, I don't think she has faced anybody like me. So we'll see on Saturday.
Ebony, you're certainly going in with someone who's got real experience. And it's a step up, this, isn't it? A big step up for your second fight. But you call for it. You want it to show us what you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Effie's ranked 27, so I'd like in the world, so I'd like to take that spot. She's just another sort of stepping stone to get up higher, get to where I want to be. But yeah, I'm really excited for Saturday. Like I said, it's felt like a long time since October, so I'm really excited for it.
I know, I think you're ready to fight the week after, such as your style and your charisma. Do you think you'll add something different to the game? It certainly looked like it with that ring walk in London.
Yeah, obviously that's just a bit of my personality. I was happy with my debut, but I think I've got a lot more to show, a lot more to give. But yeah, hopefully you'll see an entertaining fight Saturday.
I mean, most of the sort of amateurs around Team GB that we talk to say that you're so exciting that you're going to just be absolutely made for this professional game. You've got a chance of obviously coming to Scotland, so boxing around the UK, and show the different fans what you can do. Is that the plan for this year?
Yeah, I was excited to be fighting in Glasgow, like somewhere different. Obviously, Wembley's near to where I live, so hopefully get some Scottish fans up here. But yeah, just looking forward to showing everyone what I can do.
Fantastic, Ebony. Well, it wouldn't be a Scottish night without a Scottish title fight on, and it's a heavyweight title fight, and it hasn't been contested, the Scottish heavyweight title, for 71 years. Well, now it is. Saturday night, we've got a very interesting matchup between Nick Campbell and Jay McFarlane. Jay, I'll start with you. You made quite a splash at the workouts yesterday with your hat, your hairstyle, and your charisma in the ring. There we go. Looking fantastic, looking the part. How excited are you, Jay, for this opportunity here on such a night in Glasgow?
I'm excited. I'm really excited, you know. I've put a lot of work in the gym. I just want to ask Nick first. I hope you don't think I'm a fool because I played a fool. Look, I'm speaking to you. I hope you don't think I'm a fool because I played a fool. I tried to approach you yesterday twice. Once is a mistake. Twice you're the fool. 3 times I'm the fool. I'm not playing nice. I've been nothing but respectful to you the whole time. I'll shake your hand and now I want an apology. Is that alright?
For what?
For ignoring me, looking past me, turning your nose at me. I'm not an idiot.
When?
Yesterday, twice.
I mean, I was too busy doing my own thing to pay any attention to be honest. So
that's fine.
Don't know what you want me to do.
Right, now that's done. Who do I speak to about getting my blue tick on Instagram?
I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can help you. But you've got a fight to win first, Jay. You become the first Scottish heavyweight champion in 70 years. I think you deserve a blue tick.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the only reason I'm here, to be honest, mate. No, I'm really, really excited. You know, it's the first time it's 47 years before I was born. You know what I mean? That's how long ago that this title's been contested for. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to this fight. You know, it's an excellent matchup. You know, I'm awkward. I'm unorthodox. You know, I'm not your average kind of fighter. Big Nick's very strong, very tall. He's a good big boxer. You know, it's a terrific clash of styles. I think it's going to be a real treat for everyone.
Why has it taken 71 years to get this title contested?
Scotland's full of wee guys. That's what we call them. No, there's just not a lot of big guys in Scotland, you know. But it's a chance to make history for both of us. You know, I was the first ever person to win the Scottish Cruiserweight title. Now I'm looking to win the Scottish Heavyweight title and be a 2-weight Scottish champion. You know, it means a lot to me. I was never expected to do much. Not just in the ring, but out of the ring as well. You know, and I've done things that a lot of people can only dream of doing. And I would be happy just leaving it after this, you know, and letting Nick continue his career. But he's not going to beat me on Saturday. I'll happily die in that ring for winning that.
Do you feel a sense of pride of what you've been through to actually be, you know, live around the world?
Well, that's the thing, mate. You know, I can't be walking about Glasgow knowing that there's another heavyweight that's just beat me. I'll need to move up and go to Jersey with that. But
you wouldn't be welcome there, Jay.
What?
You wouldn't be welcome there, mate.
I wouldn't be welcome?
No. It's my island, mate.
Huh?
It's my island.
Oh, so I thought you were the Glasgow warrior. See, I'm the person who's been through the wars in Glasgow. So I'm the Glasgow warrior, you know what I mean? I've lived 100 crazy lives, so you would not...
I'll tell you what, Jay. You beat me on Saturday, you can call yourself the Glasgow warrior.
I don't want to. The ghost sounds better, I think.
No, well, stop talking about it then, mate.
Nick, let's bring you in. You do train and live in Jersey. You are unbeaten. Obviously still a novice professional. You've switched codes from the rugby world. It's all going well so far, and it's a step up this for a Scottish heavyweight title on a huge night. Is this what you've always wanted?
Yeah, listen, when I got into this sport of boxing, this is what I aimed for. This is what I wanted to be involved in. What I set up, you know, what an opportunity to fight in my home city. Like I say, I've not taken Jay lightly. I think he's a serious guy, he's a serious fighter, and I've prepared for it like that. So I'm looking forward to the fight on Saturday.
How do you think it will go, as in style-wise? Do you think that the fans are in for a treat? You're going to get some support, the pair of you, in there?
Yeah, I think, listen, Jay's kind of said, you know, he's unorthodox. I'm maybe more your classic type of boxer, so we'll see how we get on Saturday. But one thing you can be sure is I won't be getting beat.
Fantastic. We can't wait for that. Nick Campbell and Jay McFarlane, and chief support on the bill. A very special fighter who is coming over under the top-ranked banner, of course, Robeisy Ramirez, a standout amateur, a double Olympic champion, absolute phenomenon in the unpaid ranks. Professional career now, and he had a bumpy start, but now he's really getting going, and we really cannot wait to see him showcase his skills. But in the other corner, someone we know well from Ireland, also an extremely good amateur himself, now a much more hardened professional, Eric Donovan, who I know has trained exceptionally hard for this moment. It's a big, big night for you, this, isn't it, Eric?
Yeah, it's a huge night. Probably the biggest night of my boxing career. I think it's fair to say that. I'm under no illusion of how big the task and challenge is going to be, but when my manager, Mark Dunlop, presented me with this opportunity and challenge, he didn't have to ask me twice, you know. I'm in this game to to test myself against the best, to prove myself. And when I do finally look back on my career, I want to think about legacy. And I want to be remembered as someone who took on great fighters and was involved in great fights. And you don't get any better than two-time Olympic gold medalist. So I cannot wait for this, relishing this opportunity.
I think that's a fantastic attitude, I really do. You thrilled us on Sky in the Matchroom Garden against Zelfa Barrett. It didn't go your way that night. You've had some wins since. Do you feel in the best place that you can possibly be, obviously alongside Paddy Collins, your wonderful trainer too, that you could spring what would be an upset here?
Yeah, look, I mean, even the Zelfa Barrett fight as well, when that was presented to me, I took that on board, but I was probably very novice professional at that time. I was relying on my amateur instincts, my amateur fundamentals and skills that I had, but I didn't have the know-how in the deeper rounds in the professional game. But since the Zelfa Barrett fight, looking back on it, I know I got a lot of accolades, a lot of praise, a lot of credit from people, and I'm very proud of this, myself during that fight. But looking back, I can see the mistakes, I can see the loose ends. But I brought in Paddy Collins, who's been a fantastic addition to the team and a great coach, and we've been working together closely over the last 18 months, and we've been tying up those loose ends and putting things right. And I believe now, on Saturday night, you're going to see the best Eric Donovan, and at my operative weight category as well.
Finally, how do you beat the man who's beaten everybody, who's dealt with everything in his way?
Well, you won't have to wait very long, so just be patient.
Love it, Eric. Brilliant. Fantastic stuff. Robeisy, welcome to the UK. It is fantastic having you here. We watched in awe what you did in the amateurs. Many congratulations for what you did in London and in Rio. You're back in the UK. How special is it for you to return to, a nation, or certainly an island that you had so much success of back in 2012? You must be really pleased to be back here in Scotland, though.
Bueno, primero que todo, darle las gracias a la prensa y a Tartan, mi compañía, por esta oportunidad de volver acá al Reino Unido. Para mí es algo especial, es una ciudad que queda marcada en mi carrera como amateur, y regresar acá como boxeador profesional creo que es lo más bonito que puedo vivir, dar un gran espectáculo, y por supuesto que el fanático del boxeo conozca también la parte mía en este boxeo profesional, que es una carrera nueva, y conozca ganar en seguidores acá en el Reino Unido como tal.
First of all, I'd like to thank the press and the media and the fans who are here, and my promoter, Top Rank. Scotland and the UK in general is a very special place for me. It is deeply ingrained in my memory, as I have fond memories earning my first gold medal in London 2012. But I like to say that I like the fans to see the new Robeisy Ramirez and this new era in my career as a professional. So that is of utmost importance, and I'm just happy to be here and put on a good show.
You're under the Top Rank banner. You've got the esteemed trainer, our old friend Ismail Salas, behind you. Do you think you can replicate the success you had in the amateur code as a professional? And how hard will that be?
Bueno, sí, por supuesto. Realmente la réplica va a ser mucho mejor, porque en ese entonces, hace exactamente 10 años, tenía apenas 18 años. Han pasado 10 años ya, he cambiado mucho mi boxeo, mi experiencia. Como decía, trabajando con el maestro Ismael Salas hemos aprendido mucho de lo que es el boxeo profesional, y por supuesto la gloria se va a dar tanto en Estados Unidos como en el Reino Unido o en Asia, donde toque, pero tenemos que ir a hacer el trabajo.
Of course, I feel like I can replicate my amateur success as a professional. It is my only mission, but not only to replicate, but to best what I did in the amateur level by winning a world championship. And if it means that I have to come to fight to the UK, Asia, or wherever I have to fight, I will do that. I am used to it, and I'm on a mission to become a world champion and show that I'm going to be a better professional than I was an amateur.
So what do we expect on Saturday night against Eric Donovan? He was a brilliant amateur himself. He's a very experienced professional. How are you going to deal with him?
Bueno, realmente lo que conozco es poco. Tengo mucho respeto por todo el peleador de este deporte porque sabemos que es un deporte bien sacrificado, pero arriba del ring la palabra, los golpes son los que hablan. Yo no soy de hablar mucho fuera del ring ni tratar de menospreciar a ningún rival, simplemente llego a la pelea, llegar el sábado por la noche ahí, dar un buen combate y demostrar el talento.
I've heard good things about Eric. What I know is what I've been able to see on film. I know he had a good amateur career as well, but I respect all boxers in general because of the sacrifices that this career mean to fighters like us. But I'm not one to do much talking, so I'll just let my punches do the talking on come Saturday night, and you'll see. I think the fans are in for a treat.
Here with the respect for all fighters. Finally, it's a tough show to steal, but can you steal it?
No, como acaba de decir, es una pelea importante. Robarse el show en una cartelera donde pelee Josh Taylor es casi imposible, pero sí, realmente es el objetivo. Fue a lo que viajamos a esta parte del mundo, para que los fans conozcan un poco más de mi carrera como profesional. Sé que tengo mucha gente que saben de mi carrera como amateur, pero realmente en el boxeo profesional he hecho mis peleas en Estados Unidos. Por lo tanto, tomamos el reto de llegar acá para que la gente sepa un poco más de la carrera mía como profesional y dar un buen show, buen espectáculo y esperar a que la arena esté llena de fanáticos.
Well, you said it best. It's definitely a tough challenge to steal the show from a fighter of the caliber of Josh Taylor. But I will do my best. I will do my best to do that, and that is why we came all the way here. I've done all my fights as a professional in the United States, but I want the UK fans to get acquainted with me as well. So come Saturday night, I expect them to. I know they know some of my amateur background, but I want them to see me as a professional fighter and see what I can do on the ring. So that's really what I'm up for.
Pleasure to have you here. Thanks very much, Robeisy Ramirez. We'll go head-to-head with Eric Donovan as our chief support. The Scottish heavyweight title will finally get a champion after just over 70 years. Some brilliant undercard action through the night. The guys are going to pose for some pictures here first, and the fine ladies too, and then we'll get on with the main press conference and bring Josh and Jack out for you. So please wish them all well. Great fighters for a great night. Thank you.
So that concludes our undercard press conference, and we just wait for our fighters to go head-to-head. So first off, fight number 2 in the very early stages of Ebony Jones, the 23-year-old from Portsmouth, 1 fight, 1 win,
to the main event.
taking on Effie Catapuli, now from Glenroth, originally via Greece. They're just going to bring the 2 heavyweights together here. So not since 1951 has this title been contested. But on Saturday night, Nick Campbell and Jay McFarlane will square off over 10 rounds. George Stern beat Hugh McDonald at the Recreation Ground in Alloa back in 1951. And there is a little bit of needle and a little bit of bad blood between these two, as is obvious there. McFarlane felt he was disrespected by Campbell at the press conference yesterday. And Campbell said I was just concentrating on doing my own thing. And Adam Smith has just challenged these two to steal the show. Robeisy Ramirez, the two-time Olympic champion, originally from Cuba, now fighting out of Florida. And Eric Donovan. Two very accomplished amateurs squaring off in the pro ranks. This one has all the hallmarks of a real technical, purist battle. Huge respect between the two. Both good talkers there as well, Matt, albeit Ramirez via a translator, but came across very well.
Yeah, loads of respect. Both, as you say, well-travelled, well-accomplished, long amateur pedigree, and that's kind of ingrained in you a little bit then, isn't it? You lose that, you can lose that niceness or that respectability a bit when you go through the pro game a little bit, but they're late to it, and it's kind of instilled in them, that respect. And as you say, you mentioned that it was probably going to be a fight for the purist. I think it'll be a really sort of technical, skillful boxing match as opposed to a war of attrition in the trenches type fight.
Just one discussion point on that fight. With Ramirez, I just wonder sometimes if it comes so naturally to you, if there's any criticism so far of what we've seen in the pro ranks, is that he is slightly guilty of just doing enough to win. Never really puts the pedal to the floor, never really goes to make a statement. He just does enough to win, and maybe that is just a bit of a curse of being so good.
Yeah, but I was reading up on him and how his mindset has changed since turning professional. He was always just get the point, win, counter punch. And when someone's as slick and as skillful and as good a mover as him, guys chase him. You kind of walking into his plan, you know, he can just pick you up and he can just stay in first gear. But he's realised as a professional, it's not that you got to be able to sit down on your shots. It's not about just getting the point. You've got to hurt the guy. You've got to break him down, because, you know, over the longer distance and you can get to people. I was going to say 3 minutes. I was nearly stuck in the old days of the 4-2s.
Don't worry.
3-3s. No, you know, the three rounds. You know, 8 rounds and 10 rounds. You can get to people. So he's you've got to be able to get their respect. You've got to cause pain. You've got to break their, drain their battery, because it's not just about nicking rounds. So I think the penny has dropped. Listening to him speak, reading up what he said, I think the penny has dropped. That it's, you've got to go out there. And if you can put people away, put them away.
Let me just set the scene here for you. So that is what is at stake. The undisputed super lightweight titles. You've got them all there in the Ring Magazine belt at the front. Josh Taylor worked incredibly hard to win them, and he made a promise yesterday that there is no way that these belts are leaving Glasgow with Jack Catterall. That's some lineup, Matt. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely undisputed, every one of them, and they even though all the belts are nice, that Ring Magazine belt is just, it stands out, doesn't it?
The Rocky belt, that's what everybody always says. Let me ask you, if you're Jack Catterall, there was that nice moment at the London press conference, and Josh Taylor, I don't know for definite, do I know it to be true? No. Do I suspect it to be true? Yes. He knew exactly what he was doing when he gave him the option to hold the belts. He said, you hold them. You hold them.
Good boy.
Yeah,
Good boy.
But Catterall knew what he was doing. Catterall didn't fall into that trap. It's a lazy analogy, but we saw Ruiz hold the belts, and a lot of people felt that he looked like a competition winner, and we saw what happened there. But Catterall was playing it cool this week, isn't he? Didn't touch the belts in the build-up, didn't really get embroiled in anything in the gloves are off, just tried to play it cool. He seems that his mindset is one of sort of a siege mentality.
Yeah, look, he's mandatory challenger. He hasn't. He's earned this shot, and he's had to wait for it. He stepped aside. He let the undisputed fight with Taylor and Ramirez happen, knowing he'd get the winner. So this is long overdue for him. Also, he probably feels he's long overdue a step-up performance, because he's always looked to me like somebody that's got another gear or two. We hear about Frampton said how he's probably the best kid he's ever seen spar. So, Lee Beard messaged me earlier. He trained at Catterall early on. He said, Jack can win that fight. There's a lot more in Jack than what you've seen. And I think there is. Do I think he has enough to beat Taylor? Not if Taylor's at the top of his game, but if Taylor is too swept up with the homecoming and all the rest of it, and, you know, underperforms by 10 or 15%, and Jack boxes out of his skin, all of a sudden, that gap closes. So
that was something that we spoke about yesterday, the subconscious switching off, that Taylor is saying absolutely all the right things, won't be drawn on his future. Yes, he spoke about perhaps looking at becoming a two-weight world champion down the line, but shuts down any conversation about what's next because he says he is focused on Jack Catterall. You made a really interesting point yesterday, which I wonder if you don't mind making again, which is sometimes that's involuntary. It's a subconscious feeling.
Yeah, look, when people say, when you're a fighter and you're in that fight week and you're the favourite in a fight, and people talk about, you know, taking your eye off the ball or looking past people, you can feel irritated because at that point you feel like they're questioning your professionalism, and you've prepared so hard and you're thinking, how dare you, almost think. But as a fighter, you're missing the point. It creeps in. It's a subconscious thing. Of course, you're professional, and of course you've trained hard and you've approached it and everything. But you can't make yourself have fear. And if you just think you're better than somebody and they're not really good enough to beat you, you can't fake it. You know, I don't think you can anyway. I never could. And you know, so that's where the subconscious comes from. Like, you know, we know Taylor boxing Ramirez. Loads of people would have been picking Ramirez. You read that stuff, of course you do, and it goes in. This is a 50-50 fight. He's picking him to beat me. He thinks I'm going to be too slow. He's going to catch up to me. He's going to stop me. What? So that puts a bit of fear there, because the fear of losing, and all of a sudden you're heightened, you're focused, you're on it. Taylor, everyone's picking him to win. People will be saying, stop him in 6, he might get him in 8 points, blah, blah, blah. Not many people are talking about Catterall stopping Josh Taylor or beating Josh Taylor. So that's where the fear creeps in, or that's where their sort of complacency creeps in subconsciously.
Okay, well, there's plenty more to talk about. I'm sure we'll have more questions after this press conference, but the time is now. The pair are going to come head-to-head, the main event press conference. Let's get over to MC Mark Shudock.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get to our main event presser, on behalf of everybody at Top Rank Boxing, a big thank you to everyone here at Boxer and Sky Sports for their incredible hospitality. Honored to be with you all here for this incredible fight week in Glasgow, Scotland. This is history in the making. The first time in the history of the sport, 2 British male fighters competing on British soil for the undisputed world title in any weight class. Again, history in the making. Let's bring out the fighters, and let's start with the challenger. He is the WBO #1 ranked contender, bringing a perfect record into the ring, 26-0, 13 victories by way of knockout. From Lancashire, England, Jack El Gato Catterall. All right, and let's bring out the champion. He too enters the ring with a perfect record, 18-0, 13 victories by way of knockout. He is the undisputed super lightweight champion of the world from Preston Pans, Edinburgh, Scotland, the Tartan Tornado, Josh Taylor.
If they want a battle, I'm ready for war. I come from the struggle and love all the trouble. I've been here before. I'm done and I'm sick of the talk. The smiling faces, not anymore. Yeah, kicking the door. Been in the gutter, I come from the mud. I can give you a tour. If they want a battle, I'm ready for war. I come from the struggle and love all the trouble. I've been here before. I'm done and I'm sick of the talk. The smiling faces, not anymore. Yeah, kicking the door. Been in the gutter, I come from the mud. I can give you a tour. If they want a battle, I'm letting it loose. I've been a bigger man.
Wonderful entrances for wonderful fighters. Thank you, Mark. Hello, a very warm welcome to a special week, a magnificent Saturday night ahead here in Glasgow. Welcome to our viewers on Sky Sports News and all over the world after a fabulous February where our partners, Boxer, under the CEO guidance of Ben Shalom, have staged some memorable modern events. We're really up and running. And now we welcome our US partners. Todd DeBerth, who I can't wait to see when he arrives tomorrow, Bob Arum and all the terrific top-ranked team as well, who are here for one of their and our crown jewels. The homecoming of the fabulous Josh Taylor, the undisputed super lightweight champion. What he's done has been remarkable, and now he defends his treasure here. And the first time ever that all 4 belts will be contested, defended and challenged on UK soil. It's a special night against an excellent fellow unbeaten fighter in Jack Catterall. Josh undefeated in 18, Jack in 26. 44 fights unbeaten between them with 26 knockouts. It really is a terrific fight. Straight to the fighters. Jack, I'll start with you. It's a massive challenge. You're stepping up to meet Josh Taylor for all the belts, and you have to do it here in hostile territory. It's not easy, this game, is it? But I know you're ready for it.
No, it's a challenge that I'm relishing. I feel the fight week buzz now. Got a good reception yesterday at the public workout. We're here now, it feels real, it feels good. I'm excited to get stuck in on Saturday.
I know you've been waiting really patiently for this, and you knew it was going to happen. You've got a very tight-knit team. I see Nigel Travers down there, Jamie Moore, and your family around you, and they believe in you, that you can do this, which would obviously be a big upset.
Of course, it's been a long journey to get to this point. These last 2 years being mandatory, there's been a lot of speed bumps, roadblocks in the way, but I can put all that behind me now. The fight's here, we're 2 days away from the fight. So more than it, I'm just buzzing to be here and excited now to get in there Saturday night.
I mean, you were over in Vegas almost cheering Josh on, weren't you, when he had that superb win over Ramirez? So you've been studying him, and obviously Jamie has, intently for a long, long time.
Yeah, Josh will tell you. I was there in Josh's room after the fight, congratulating him. I went there on my own. Jamie come the week later for Chantel Cameron's fight. I was Team Josh that week. I wanted Josh to win the fight, hoping that this week I could be sat here challenging the top boy in the division.
And great to see that respect between the pair of you, but it is serious business now, and this is for your family, for your life. It's a career-changing night for you, potentially.
Yeah, it's come tenfold. I was mandatory for the WBO title, and after waiting 2 years, I've got a chance now to capture the Undisputed. I've not just come up here to make up the numbers. I've been in the gym working continuously for the last 18 months, 2 years for this opportunity.
A mandatory and a dangerous challenge for you, Josh Taylor. You wouldn't like it any other way. You're back in Scotland. I've seen a smile on your face all week. You were all over the fans at the workouts. Terrific to see. Do you feel this is happening at exactly the right time for you now?
Yeah, I'm delighted to be back home. You know, the last 2 years has been frustrating for everybody. You know, the last 2 years for me, myself, boxed twice, once behind completely closed doors, no one there, and then the second one was in Vegas, which was sort of limited crowd as well. You know, I couldn't take my friends, my family, or a travelling support with me. You know, it was just me, myself, and the team. You know, so we couldn't suck up all the atmosphere and take up the big fight week and, you know, and enjoy it all and soak it all up. We were totally focused on what we had to do, and we got the right result. But coming back here, coming back home, seeing all the fans again, full house, sold out arena, you know, back in Glasgow, my home arena, since it's been the Commonwealth Games, you know. So yeah, I'm delighted to be back and can't wait for Saturday now. Wasn't
this the building that you won your Commonwealth Games gold medal in?
It was, yeah, the Hydro, yeah. So yeah, it's I've got a long journey of success here, and it's going to continue on Saturday night. No, absolutely no different, same result, different day.
You're obviously annoyed that you couldn't have that success in front of all your fans over in Vegas against Ramirez. Do you think it lost a bit of shine, and that you've been waiting for this chance where it's going to be a packed house, flower of Scotland? We know the great nights up here in Scotland over the years. I know you looked up to Alex Arthur and Scott Harris and Ricky Burns. So many fantastic nights we've seen. This is going to be another, which is right up there. It's going to be incredible in there.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You know, everyone's been starved in nights out and things to do for the last 2 years, you know, and up here there's not been much happening. So, yeah, everybody's came out in their numbers. They've sold out, and I've got fans, an abundance of fans coming up from England supporting me. I've probably got more fans coming up from England to support me than Jack's got coming up supporting him. So, yeah, it's a great night. I can't wait.
Jack, you got one or two from Chorley? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, there's a little minibus coming up from Chorley, 10:20 and that, so We'll be sweet.
They'll be okay. Of course, it's very much your world, though, Josh. And I mean, there's so much pressure and attention on you now. Pound for pound, one of the kings. You know, arguably, maybe Tyson would argue, the best fighter we've got as well. And what are the aims? Is it just to deal with business on Saturday? And then I know you want to try and become a 2-weight world champion. There's huge names. Terence Crawford was here
but
last week.
don't be talking about that as Jack on Saturday. It's his turn next. You know, it's his turn to get the beating on Saturday, which I'm going to dish out on Saturday. So that's all I'm thinking about is Jack Catterall. He's standing my way to do other things. He's here to try and take away what I've worked so hard to get. You know, I've cleaned out the division, did it the hard way. He's getting a shot at the jackpot in one fight, and I'm going to put him in his place on Saturday.
Interesting. You said that on the media tour several weeks ago. You didn't want to think about anyone other than Jack Catterall, and it's the only name on your mind. This is all about Saturday.
Yeah, 100%.
So no worries about anyone else out there that's talking?
No worries at all. I'm not thinking about anything else other than beating Jack on Saturday.
How good do you think he is?
He's good. We'll find out on Saturday, but, you know, he's in for a long night. You know, he's in for a long, painful, methodical beatdown on Saturday.
You think it's about levels?
I think it's a little bit about levels as well, yeah. But he does things well, but I'm fully prepared what he does. He makes so many mistakes, and he's in for a long, painful night on Saturday.
Let's get down to Jamie Moore, trainer of Jack Catterall, of course. Jamie, you've talked openly about this levels thing, that Josh has proved it in the elite at the very highest. But Jack hasn't had the opportunity yet. He's done everything that's asked of him, but if you look at the resume, it's not as impressive as Josh. But this is the chance.
Absolutely. I think Josh is right. This sport is about levels. The fact that Jack hasn't boxed at that level yet doesn't mean he can't. At some point, you know, if you think about it logically, every single fighter at some point has never boxed at that level, but it doesn't mean they can't. They eventually prove themselves, and that's what Jack will do on Saturday.
How confident are you? Obviously, you've studied Josh for a long time. You're a boxing man through and through, Jamie. You know how good he is. But how confident are you that your man has got the minerals and the equipment and the tools to be able to deal with this, and the night that's going to be presented for him?
Of course, to be able to beat someone like Josh, you've got to have so much stuff to your armoury. You've got to be intelligent, you've got to be strong, you've got to be sharp, you've got to have you've got a good engine. I know I've got all those things in Jack Catterall. You've got to have a good game plan. I feel like we've got a good game plan. You've got to hold it all together on the night. So these are all little different aspects what all fall into place. And I know I've got a fighter in Jack Catterall who's capable of doing that. Will he do it on Saturday? Only time will tell, but I'm more than confident he can do it.
The perfect professional record, albeit the sort of best wins against the likes of Ahara Davidson and your Tyrone Nurses, but we know he sparred with Mayweather and Canelo. We know that Carl Frampton rates him enormously highly. So many do that have seen him up close and personal. Do you think we just haven't seen in the professional arena quite the full Jack Catterall yet?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, from what I've seen of his capabilities, the better the fighter is in with, the better he performs. You know, and that could explain some of the lesser performances as in the professionals because of the opposition in front of him. So that means on Saturday night, he's in with one of the best pound for fighters in the world. You're going to see a terrific fight.
You've got a buzzing stable. You and Nigel doing great things for the sport. What would it mean to your team, your close team, if Jack can become the undisputed super lightweight champion Saturday night here in Scotland?
Well, he doesn't get bigger than that in the sport, does it? And we're very focused on the fighters, and I know what it means to Jack. So knowing what it means to Jack, that means it'd mean the world to us, because that means that we've done our job properly and we've been able to help him do it.
Two fabulous fighters, two fabulous trainers. There's one in one corner, there's one certainly in the other corner as well. Ben Davidson, welcome, great to see you. As Josh is saying, it's all about Jack Catterall. That's what this camp's been based on, and that's what you guys are going to deliver Saturday night. No talk of anything else beyond.
No, of course, you know, I always say that, you know, you go into a fight as a champion, but the moment that first bell rings, those belts go up in the air and you've got to earn them again. And Josh has got that challenger mentality, you know, and that's what keeps him dangerous. That's what's going to keep him performing. You know, like you said, there's a lot of expectation on Josh, and no pressure, no diamond. And Josh loves the pressure, and that's what makes him perform. Every time he's been put under pressure, he's performed. And
that won't change come Saturday night.
We know your journey working with Tyson Fury, and now you've got a huge, incredibly good and gifted stable of fighters. What's special about Josh Taylor? We can see it in the 18 fights he's had, the amateur experience as well. But working up close with him, what is it that's different about Josh Taylor to your average fighter?
Well, on top of his capabilities and his skill set, the size of him for 140 pound, the fact that he's so fast and sharp at that size at 140 pound, plus he's got balls like King Kong, tough as nails, you know, a Rolls-Royce engine is the full package, and that's why he is the undisputed light welterweight champion of the world, and he'll go in and show all those traits and whatever traits he needs to pull out the bag on Saturday night.
You and we can't see many weaknesses at the moment with Josh.
No, look, you know, Jack's a solid fighter, and he's got to this position because he's earned it. You know, this is a mandatory defence, not a voluntary defence. So, of course, you know, he poses threats, and Jamie and Jack would have come up with a game plan. It's the same as us. You know, we'll be looking at Jack, his strengths, his weaknesses, and we'll be looking at the same things in Josh, and we come together with a game plan to make sure that, you know, things go to plan on Saturday night. And for Josh, he's not just average in every area, he's exceptional in every area. And he's a very, very hard man to beat. And I believe that he's unbeatable at 140 pounds.
Exceptional fighter with an exceptional crowd. What performance will you be happy with on Saturday night?
Look, we're happy with a win. We come to win, whether it's via stoppage, whether it's via a points decision, you know. The main thing is coming out with a W and moving on and assessing what's next after that. But until then, we're just fully focused on Jack Catterall.
Josh, is it about coming out with a W, or is it about a statement, a scintillating stoppage of Jack Catterall?
No, it's about getting the win. It's about getting the W. It's all about getting the win. But I do definitely feel I'm going to walk Jack into some big shots. I'm going to he's going to walk into some big, massive shots. I know that for sure. You know, and I think I can get the knockout, but I'll not be going out looking for it, that's for sure. But, you know, I just don't see a way that he can beat me in this fight, you know, and I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I'm prepared for every single way. Whatever he brings, I'm more than prepared for.
High praise from Ben Davidson, of course, basically saying you're exceptional in every single department. Do you feel that? Do you feel that there isn't a sort of chink in the armour?
I can do everything well. I can do it all. I can box on the front foot, the back foot. I can counter box. I can fight on the inside, fight on the outside. I can go orthodox. I can change. I can do the lot. I'm a good fighter. I'm a brilliant fighter. I know I am. And I'm going to go and improve it again on Saturday.
Jack, how do you find the chink in the armour? Can you do it? Can you be successful and take these belts back to Chorley? What a story it would be.
Yeah, I'm confident in doing that. For the last 6 months, a year now, we've been looking at Josh and studying things. We've got a game plan for Saturday night, and I believe that if I can execute that to the best of my ability, it's more than enough to beat Josh.
Josh is saying a win, maybe a stoppage, but the win is all important. What are you predicting?
Yeah, right back at it. It's the same. We're going there, not going to go hunting for the knockout. If it presents itself, I'll be jumping on it. But ultimately, it's about going out there and getting the W, getting the hand raised.
And I know there's Needle, obviously, a little bit of tension, making weight tomorrow, the fight on Saturday night. But it's good, isn't it, for boxing that we've seen Eubank and Williams, we've seen Khan and Brook, and they're embracing at the end after their 17-year history, that the two of you have got huge respect for each other. It's great for the boxing business, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the respect's been there. Me and Josh both know once that bell goes Saturday night, the respect's out the window. We can shake hands after, but right now it's... we're going to punch each other's heads in, and that's it.
And final word...
Could you punch your phone number in, you cunt?
You clown.
Final word, how excited are you for Saturday night, and what are you going to deliver?
Saturday night, I hope everybody tunes in. It's a fight we've been waiting for a long time. Excited for this fight. I expect fireworks.
Josh, we'll leave the last word with you. What are you going to give your home crowd? I think it's the 5th time you'll be appearing in the Hydro, but it's a special one for you to bring the belts back to show them.
I can't wait. You know, I've been away for a couple of years now, almost 3 years. I've been away on the road, you know, boxing in front of no one, and then in Vegas again. So back here, full house capacity, and I can't wait. The atmosphere is going to be amazing, you know. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go on a good performance. But you know, I'm not going to be going out looking for the knockout and just trying to knock him out. I'm just going to put on a real good polished performance, and he's going to be in for a painful night because I'm going to hit him with the kitchen sink.
Live on Sky Sports, live on ESPN Plus, around the world. You can't wait.
Can't wait.
Fantastic. Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, seriously good fight on Saturday night for the undisputed super lightweight treasure. All the belts are around, as we can see. We'll bring them up. We'll have a head-to-head down here, and the boys will be around for some one-on-ones, I'm sure. Wish them well. It's a great fight.
Well, it is fight week and tensions and emotions are running high. Apologies for any swearing or bad language. So here we go. 12 rounds or less for the undisputed super lightweight titles. There they all are on show. The undisputed king of Scotland, Josh Taylor, faces his mandatory challenger, the undefeated Jack Catterall from Chorley. It all goes down on Saturday night, just across the road from where we are now, the Hydro, here in Glasgow. And Matt, as predicted, Taylor did have one or two things to say to him there at the head-to-head. We'll ask Jack what it was he was saying, but I'm sure you can get the gist.
Yeah, look, he's a nice kid, Josh Taylor, but he's got that bit of spite in him. You can see when he eats fight week, he goes into a different mindset, doesn't he? And he's got that steely exterior. You can just, yeah, he's just a bit of a hard case, isn't he? You can tell.
Hank time, they call it. I think we can see that Hank is here now.
Because, you know, even though he's a technically very well-schooled boxer and he's got good skills, he's got that inner hardness to him. And, you know, Ben Davidson alluded to it. He said, big balls and, you know, tough as nails, really hard. And you can just, I think that's what really puts him up there. Because, yeah, he's a really good boxer, don't get me wrong. But I think it's his inner strength as much as anything.
Well, the mandatory challenger joins us now. Jack, within reason what you can repeat, what did he have to say to you there at the head-to-head?
Yeah, we were mumbling some stuff. Beep. Mind games. But listen, you know me now. I don't pay too much attention to all the mind games. Are you ready for Saturday? Are you going to run? Are you come and have a fight? Of course, I'm not going to run from him. I'm prepared to go, like I said yesterday, any place possible to get this win.
Is that what he was saying there? Meet me in the middle?
Yeah, I'll meet him in the middle, no bother.
Kerry Kayes, your strength and conditioner, nutritionist, I mean, that doesn't even do Kerry any sort of justice. He's quoted as saying, you are the most relaxed fighter in the dressing room pre-fight. They couldn't believe how sort of relaxed you are. This isn't an act, is it? You know, you don't seem to have even broken yet. The mask hasn't slipped at all. Are there nerves? Is there tension?
You get that fight week feel. I've been with my family. They're in the same hotel. My team. I feel comfortable. There's a time and a place to let the nerves in, and I don't believe it's now. You feel it a little bit, but I think there's a time and a place right before that ring walk where your excitement comes out. In that ring, that bell goes. For me, when that bell goes, that's it then. Until then, I can kind of like keep it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bright lights, there's a lot of camera, doing more interviews, more attention than you've ever had to do on any fight week. He's sitting maybe 1.5 meters away from you there, saying that he's going to hit you with every shot he's got, that he doesn't think you're going to be able to stand up to it. What is your response to all of this?
Yeah, there is no response. I know what I'm capable of and how hard I've prepared for this fight. I take confidence in the work that I've put in over the last couple of weeks and months, so they're just words at the end of the day. We can all say what we want, everybody can have an opinion, but nothing really matters until that bell goes.
Yeah, you don't believe that you can be unsettled, that you're not going to be unsettled?
No, I mean, I can't speak into the future. Don't know how I'm going to be on Saturday night, but I've certainly done everything in my capability to prepare myself for that scenario.
And you believe that timing is everything in boxing, that this is your time now, that you're at your peak, that you're ready to become not just a world champion, but take all those belts back to Chorley?
Yeah, it's got to be my time. It's the biggest opportunity in boxing, fighting for the Undisputed. These last couple of years has led me to this point now. It could have been 2 years ago against the WBO champion, Hooker. Might have been too soon, might not have been, we don't know, but I'm ready now to take on Josh.
Before I let you go, you said a little minibus is coming up from Chorley. We know there's more coming than that, but those that didn't get a ticket, have you got a message for all your friends, family and supporters back home?
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed. My phone's not stopped buzzing, text, calls, and there's a lot of people travelling up, spending the money, people tuning in on Sky, so very grateful of all that.
Jack, we wish you all the best. I'll let you exit this way, and best of luck on Saturday. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't think it is an act. The mask isn't slipping at all. The whole team, Jamie, you know inside out, and Kerry, you know even better. They said we've never met anybody that is just so calm under pressure. If you wouldn't know that what's at stake with the way he's carrying himself, and I don't think it is an act. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I think that's just the way he is. I think he's got the real. We said it earlier. I said, look, I spoke to Jamie Moore. I hadn't spoken to Jack at this point. I spoke to Jamie Moore, and he's really confident, quietly confident. Like, he's not out there shouting it, but he's really confident.
Yeah, it's just not his nature.
It's just not his nature, and I think that's the same with Jack. He's not. He's quiet. He's reserved, but that can sometimes give you the wrong impression. But beneath that, there's a guy who absolutely believes that this is his destiny. You know, he's not here for the Josh Taylor show. He's here for the Jack Catterall show. You know, it's a bit like in Rocky. Is it Rocky 3 or when he said one of the Rocky 1 when he says 3? You know, this guy doesn't think it's a damn show. He thinks it's a damn fight. He hasn't read the script, you know, Rocky 1 with Apollo Creed.
I love the fact that you still, even at this stage, with all the fights that you've been in, all the world title challenges, you still reference Rocky, a fictional boxing movie, for your best boxing knowledge. I love it. You've done it in commentary many, many times. May I ask you about Josh Taylor? Do you get the impression that he does need to hate his opponent? That he benefits when someone's giving him a little, when someone's giving him a few words back and stuff like that. He's not really getting that from Jack Catterall. I know Tony Bellew was one of those that really needed to hate his opponent. Tony might not agree with that, but you always got the impression a better Tony Bellew was someone that was fired up. I think the same might be for Josh Taylor. If you give it to him, Prograis certainly did. Ramirez, they had all sorts of scuffles outside the lift shaft, even after the weigh-in, but it fueled him. Oh my.
Well, exactly, because he didn't really get it there, did he? He didn't really get it off Jack Catterall. I think that's why he tried to push a few buttons at the end and be a little bit in his face, trying to get something back from him. But Jack just didn't play that game, did he? He just he was a lot more passive.
I wouldn't want to play poker with Jack Catterall because the mask it's just, but he's expressionless, and all of the lights and the cameras, you would think that if there were nerves, they would creep to the surface. But I was just saying to Matt that we've heard Kerry Casey's quotes that he is the most relaxed person around the dressing room and on fight night and on fight week. Do you think that Josh Taylor is failing to intimidate Jack at the moment?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say he's failing because I don't think it's possible. That's the thing. And to be honest, I think Josh has realised that early on. I don't really think he's tried to push him that much, to be honest. He's had a little go there because he's getting a bit close to the fight. I think he's just tried one last little nudge to see if he can get a bite out of him. But it's just not going to happen. And to be honest, it's pretty much irrelevant. Some people, even if you manage for 1 second there to rile him up a little bit, you've got 2 days before the fight. It's not going to have a lasting effect up until the fight. So yeah, I'm glad the way Jack's conducted himself. He's a lovely kid. He by nature he's well mannered. He's laid back and well mannered. And you know, Josh is fiery by nature. On the night, that's going to blend together for a great fight, I feel.
But it's not a concern to you at all that you need to Jack Catterall up. If he hasn't realised what's at stake by now, you're probably not going to be able to. But he's well aware of what's at stake, and
Jack's been.
You know what I'm trying to get at there. Not take the pressure off him. But.
Exactly, but Jack's been like that for 26 fights, and he's 26-0 with a temperament like that.
You'd be more concerned if he was irate now.
Exactly that. So if he was sat on the stage starting arguing back with Josh, I'd be thinking, oh, Josh has got to him. So he's not. So listen, I don't think it's going to have a bearing on the fight at all. You know, everyone's always going to have an opinion. Someone might go, you know, he wasn't fired up enough for it. And then when he goes and wins on Saturday night, people are going to go, you know what? It worked. He didn't rise to the bait. So you know, when you look at Jack box, it would be detriment to his style to be, you know. If he came out of the blocks like Mac did when me and him boxed, then he just wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be cool, calm, and collected, because to ride that storm what Josh is going to bring, that's the temperament you need.
Well, linking it to that fight. In fact, I'm probably going to let you go because I don't want to make any awkwardness of Josh Taylor joining on the platform. But thank you very much, Jamie. You're a gentleman. Yeah, we can see over our shoulder there that Josh Taylor is just making his way down to the group here, and we'll get a chance just to ask him what it was that was discussed between the two of them. Josh, just come and join us on the platform. Well, we're live on Sky Sports and to our ESPN and our top-ranked counterparts over in the States. Within reason, what you can tell us, what did you have to say to him at the head-to-head there?
Just how is he going to do it? How is he going to win? You know, I don't think he's going to come out and meet me in the centre of the ring. I think he's going to come out and try and be on the back foot and try and counter me, try and walk me into a shot. I think that's what he's going to try and do. But if he comes out on the offensive from the front foot, it plays into my hands, and you know, and he'll end up on his back end.
Yeah, have you prepared for any which way?
I'm prepared for every which way. You know, whatever he brings, I'm more than ready for on Saturday. You know, but I think I know what he's doing. He's been watching me. He's been probably watching me in my fight against Progress, which is the latest southpaw I've boxed, where I fought with emotion rather than my head due to personal circumstances, you know. So I know that, I think I know that's what they're going to try and be banking on and watch me the way I fought in that fight. That's what they've kind of based their tactics on, I think. But it's not enough. It's not enough.
There's a lot going on this week, though. It is a homecoming, and we're so delighted to be here in Scotland, the return home for you. What is your mindset at the moment? Because it's all great, but Ben Davidson said to us, it is a blessing and a curse at the same time. He wants you to be sort of very cool, calm and collected, but that isn't necessarily what we want.
Yeah, no, I'm nice and relaxed. You know, I'm enjoying the journey. You know, it's been a long 2 years, you know, for everyone. You know, it's been a frustrating couple of years, being at home, stuck in the house, no seeing anyone, no seeing friends, families, no being able to go on holidays and this and that. You know, it's been a frustrating couple of years, so I'm enjoying this. I'm loving it. I've been starved of it for 2 years, you know. My fight after Prograde was against the front of no one, you know, in the York Hall, freezing cold, about 20 people in the hall, you know, and then, you know, the Ramirez fight again was against limited crowd as well. It was just under 1,000 people in a big hall, all socially distanced, and wasn't able to take my friends, my family, you know, it was just myself and my team. So it's been frustrating for everybody, you know, so I'm enjoying this week and enjoying being back to normal and the way big fights should be. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. What condition are you in at the moment? We know you had that injury and you went away to Vegas and worked hard on recuperating, getting the knee right. You're all smiles this week, so I'd suggest that the weight isn't a problem at the moment. I'll ask that question again tomorrow and see how I get on. But how are you at the moment? You know, are you at your peak, you would say?
Yeah, I'm coming into my peak, I would say. Yeah, you know, tomorrow Saturday I'm planning on putting a real good performance, you know, see my whole toolbox of tricks, what I've got, you know, and you've still not seen the best Josh Taylor yet. You've still not seen the best version of myself, and that's still to come, and Saturday's going to be a good performance, and I'm looking forward to it.
At the same time, it is a real dangerous assignment. He's a mandatory challenger. You worked incredibly hard to get all those belts. You can't afford to lose them on what is supposed to be a homecoming night for you.
100% not. You know, all I'm focused on is winning on Saturday, and I've studied Jack Catterall diligently. You know, I've really looked at him and really watched what he does, and he's a very good fighter. He does everything really well. He's good defensively. He's quite slick. He looks like he punches hard as well. His record doesn't suggest it, but he looks like he's quite heavy-handed. The way he throws the punches, you know, he's a clever fighter. You know, so it's certainly not a one-sided fight, and it's my job to make sure that it is a one-sided fight. But I know it's going to be a tough fight, and it's got the makings to be a tough fight. But I just believe that there's no beating me at the moment.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Matt, Josh. At the end of the public workout yesterday, Josh stood with the Scottish flag and said, "These belts are staying here." Well, Jack Catterall is going to do his best for that not to happen. We've got one closer to home, the weigh-in tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Wherever you watch this stream today, come back tomorrow. We'll be back on air again. So thank you very much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, wherever you are in the world.